This hair, because I redid it, retwisted it, it's getting on my nerves because it's curling and I don't want it to curl, but it's fine. It's really fine. I'm also gonna take down my hair because I pretty much had it up all day and I needed to. That may be the cause of the headache, the slight headache that I have. Okay, okay. You left. You don't want to come sit beside me? Okay. Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back, Bookish Besties, to another video. As you can see by today's title, we are going to be going through my physical TBR. Now, there aren't as many as like most people have. Like, a lot of people have like over 100, 150 plus long TBRs. And listen, I like choices too. But if I have too many choices, it makes me anxious. And I mean, it's already making me anxious that I bought 25 books this year and about half of them I haven't read, nor have I picked up yet. And I bought more books besides picking up the books I already have. And so I'm gonna try and read this as much as possible before my birthday, so this doesn't get like to more than like 50 or 60 books on my physical TBR, because I have here 36 right now. Like I said, not a lot, but that's kind of sort of making me anxious because I never want my TBR to reach more than like 50. So if we reach 50 when I go to my book shopping for my birthday, we're in for anxious Emerson, who's gonna feel like the world's crumbling down on them. So be warned. Be warned. But with that being said, I don't want this to be too long of a video because I yapped in my book haul video last night and that's like 30 minutes long by itself. So to keep this from also being 30 minutes long in itself, let's just go through these books. The book I have is Have City by Kate Golden. I'm easily influenced. It's something I have learned. And when people say that this book was good, I knew I had to go get it at some point in the near future. And that near future was literally 2 days ago when I bought this. No. But also when Madison Kate recommends something, you go buy it. When Madison Kate, Emmy, and whoever else I follow who has rated this very highly, like a 4-star and above on Goodreads and Fable, I take their advice and I read the book. Okay, I read the book, and I'm reading the book. This came out in February, right? I believe this came out in February, so it's a fairly new release. Yes, it's a new release. So I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous. I've never read anything by Kate Golden before, but people are like really enjoying this and comping it to like City of Bones and Buffy the Vampire and like other things. So I'm excited to see how I feel about it. The next book I have is Game Changer by Rachel Reed. As I said in my book haul video, if there's one thing I'm going to do, is read an interconnected series of standalone romance books in the order that they're supposed to go in. And so with that being said, I will be starting here for the Game Changer series, but also because how do we have Ilya and Shane and the rest of the couples in the series if these two didn't come out for their moment to shine? Well, we have Kip and Scott. You know what I'm saying? So I have to start with the OGs. I have to start with the ones who literally changed the game. Okay. The next ones we're going to do all together because they're all technically in the same world and I'm going to read them in order, and that is the last 2 books in the Carvel series and then the first book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, because again, if there's one thing I'm going to do, even though these series can be read separately on their own, I'm going to read them in order so I can see the connections from the Carvel series and this series. Listen, my brain just works that way. You can't, don't judge me, don't yell at me, don't say anything. You all know how I am. I don't know why we're acting shocked about this. This is how my brain is wired, okay? It's the same way I can't binge a series because I'll get tired of it too fast. But I digress. Got all these. We have Legendary, Finale, and Once Upon a Broken Heart. I read Carval back in like 2023, I think it was. Really enjoyed it, and I never continued on with the series. And that's on my 26 and 26. But my real main goal is to at least finish the Carval series and maybe hopefully read this. I don't want to say I want to read all 6 books. I at least want to read these 3 technically, and then start this in 2027. Maybe, we'll see. The next book that I have is Immortal Dark by Tigus Grima, which is the first book in this Immortal Dark series. I don't know if it has a name or if it's literally just called the Immortal Dark series. I know nothing about this series pretty much. I know there's vampires, I think, and humans. I don't really know. I'm not like completely sure about that. All I know is it has very highly rated reviews on it, and I'm interested in it enough to have bought it when it's not a finished series and book 2 isn't even out in paperback yet, and book 3 won't be out in paperback until next year. So for me to preemptively buy these knowing I will never purchase the hardbacks because I have this in paperback now, I'm a little wild, but we'll see. I can just read the other ones on my iPad and then buy them physically once they come out in the form that I want them in, which is paperback. But I digress. I have this. I'm actually really excited. I'm hoping to get to this actually in April, but we'll see. I'm in such like a weird reading mood right now that I don't even know what I really want to read right now besides Bonded by Thorns, which I started today. So, okay. So the next book I have is A Perilous Undertaking, which I'm actually also thinking about reading really soon because I'm actually in the mood for like a good mystery thriller book. And this just sounds like it'd be so good. So good. Like getting back to Veronica and Stoker. Yeah, no, if you don't know, I really love the first book of Curious Beginning, and like I feel like I'm gonna become obsessed, like absolutely obsessed with this series. So I'm actually really looking forward to this book. I don't really know what it's about, but it is here on my TBR, and I will be purchasing the whole series at some point, just not right now because I'm on a book buying ban. That's kind of what's also making me put it off because I want to read these physically. So I'm trying to like save it for like when I can go buy my birthday band on my birthday book shopping and get like books 3 and 4, so I have at least 2 other books to read after this. You know what I'm saying? You already saw the book, but it is All This Twisted Glory by Tahara Mafi, which is the 3rd book in the This Woman Kingdom series. By Tahara Mafi. And I don't want to say I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed book 1. Book 2 was a bit of a letdown because I was expecting a lot more out of it and a lot more plot development in it. Whereas we didn't get a lot of plot development, it was more like character development. And I don't mind a character-driven book, but I like my character stuff well acquainted with my plot stuff. So book 2 was definitely a letdown, but I have slightly lower hopes for this. So I don't know what I'm expecting going to this. I just know I'm going to read it at some point in the near future, possibly during a 48-hour readathon that's taking place next weekend. The next book I have is the 3rd book in the Turk Academy series, which is The Reckoning by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. I have read the first 2 books in the series and just never continued on with it like 2 to 3 years ago, I believe it was. And I meant to continue on with it. I just never got around to it because there were so many other books I was more interested in. But also, I wasn't completely like into romantasy at that point in my life. I think I was definitely started reading a lot more YA books at that point in my life. And I mean, I still technically mix in YA, but I read a lot of new adult and adult. And I know new adult technically isn't like a age range, but I use it as an age range of like characters who were like 21 to like 18, 19 to like 25, 26 years old. If you're older than that, then you're like adult in my brain because your frontal lobe fully develops at like 25 or something, I think. So like once you reach like 26, then I'm like, that's an adult because you have a fully developed frontal lobe. But I digress. I have this. I'm actually really excited. I've been like kind of thinking about picking up the series, but I'm a little scared because these get very chunky. Like this is book 3 and this is 700 pages. I don't even remember the last time I read a 700-page book. Have I ever read a 700-page book? Yes, I don't remember when, but I've read a 700-page book before. What's been 700 pages? The other series. Okay, yes. Anyways, this I'm excited about. Really excited about. So, should I do a vlog on these? Let me know. The next two books that I'll talk about off my physical TBR are The Stolen Heir and The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. You may be looking at me like, isn't The Cruel Prince one of your favorite series? Wouldn't you want to get back to the world and read about Oak and his love story and yada yada yada? Yes. Yes, but I'm also a little bitch baby who wants to savor these as much as they possibly can because they don't want the world to be over and nothing else to come out of it. And I've been putting it off. But I do have The Stolen Heir on my TBR for this month, and I'm actually hoping to get to it again either this weekend in a 24-hour readathon that I'm doing as part of someone's Patreon, or next weekend and the 48-hour readathon with Cassidy and all of them. One of the 2 weekends this is going to get read because it's just short, quick, easy. I fly through the Cruel Prince books, and I feel like I'll also fly through these. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The next book I have is Oathbound by Tracy Dion, and you may be thinking, is it Legendborn? I feel like I just said this. Is it Legendborn, one of your favorite series of all time? Yes. Yes, it is. And I'm putting this off because, once again, like I said, I'm a little bitch baby who doesn't want it to be over, especially because we have no release date for book 4. Haven't even heard a whisper about book 4. Nada, nothing, zero. And I follow that woman on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Not a single thing. And trust me, I would know because one of my Instagram friends, we love this series and we talk about it every time something new releases for it. So don't get me started. I'm also putting it off because this is 600 pages. This is a chunker. Okay, and books, I can't lie, scare me like the tiniest little bit. Not even the tiniest little bit. They just scare me. Yeah, no, they just scare me. So yeah, I'm avoiding it with everything in me. Next up, I have Flawless by Elsie Silver. I have been avoiding this book a little bit because it's out of my comfort zone, but I bought it to kind of motivate myself more to read it because I want to keep trying to read the books that I physically own and buy less and so on and so forth. So I finally bought it to motivate myself to read it because I've been avoiding it like it's the plague and I need to stop. I shouldn't be scared of it. There's nothing to be scared about with this book. It's a little silly cowboy romance. Next up is Metal Slinger by Rachel Snyder. I know we have Emmy to thank for this getting published traditionally because that girl raved about this book until it got more people to read it and it got traditionally published. She's literally in the acknowledgments of the book. So yes, we should all thank Emily and Rachel Snyder for being a great writer, of course, but also Emmy. And I bought it because it's on my 26 and 26. The next 2 books is Strange Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares. I actually found these at Half Price Books back in December when my ex-boyfriend took me and his mom book shopping together as our Christmas presents. And I got these for $3.50 each, $3.50 a piece. Like, that's a steal. So I got both of them because I put this one on my 26 and 26, so I knew immediately that I had to get it. And someone told me that I might as well, if I had book 1, I might as well have book 2, so that way I don't have to like wait to go buy it after finishing this. So I said, okay, and here we are. The next 2 books are the continuations of a series that I really want to finish by the end of this year. I think I'm probably gonna wait to read these until like it gets fall, but if I read them before then I read them before then. I kind of want to try to, but I know that I'm a mood reader and these just fit the mood of fall better. And that is Foxglove and Wisteria by Adeline Grace. Belladonna was like in my top 10, I think, last year of books that I read. And so I don't have like super high predictions, but I do think this could possibly be a 5-star and so could this one. If not, they're gonna both be very high 4-star reads for me because I just loved Ellen Grace writing, the characters in this, the story in this, the light little romance we got in this. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading the both of these. The next one I got is another one that's on my 26 and 26 is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I think I got this during my book shopping trip the day after Christmas because my mom got me a Barnes & Noble gift card, and this is one of the like 3 or 4 books I bought that day because I was like, this is on my 26 and 26. I want to have it physically because for like high fantasy, epic fantasy books, I prefer to read those physically and probably listen to an audiobook. So I knew I had to have this because I've heard nothing but good things about it. I had to refrain myself from getting all 3 of them before I've even read the first one because I have such like high standards for this, but we're gonna keep them down and we're just gonna read this one. I actually placed a hold on the audiobook soon because I've been eyeing this and wanting to read it. So as soon as the audiobook comes in, I will be immersive reading this along with reading along to the book. So hopefully this will be read by the end of like May. The next book I have is another one off of my 26 and 26, or maybe not my 26 and 26, but it's a book that I really want to read, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I have heard nothing but fabulous, amazing, wonderful things about this book. I know there's a very mixed bag of people who either enjoy this or don't enjoy it, but I feel like I'm going to fall into the type of people who enjoy it because I have found myself really liking flowery, more lyrical writing over the years. I don't know whether that's me growing into an adult. I'm 21, so I still feel very childish at times, but I still have learned to kind of love the lyrical writing on the occasion. But also, I read A Darker Side of Magic a few years ago, and I really like the way V.E. Schwab writes, so I'm hoping this can live up to some expectation that I have in my brain. The next one I have is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This is another one that I need to get the audiobook for before I read this, so I will be putting a hold on the audiobook at Libby at some point. I just don't know when, because I did try to read this, and I made it like a good little bit in. I made it 36 pages into the book before I was like, nope, I'm going to pause on this and wait till I get the audiobook for it so I can read it with the audiobook because these books are mind boggle. I mean, I read the Jasmine Throne just fine, but I feel like once I get into like Brandon Sanderson is when the audiobooks really gotta come into play, or maybe I need to be in a mood to read this. I don't know what it is. We'll see. The next book I have is The Lotus Empire by Tasha Shuri. This is the last book in the Burning Kingdom series by Tasha Shuri. I'm kind of avoiding this because I don't want it to be over, but I also kind of want to read it this month. It was on my TBR last month and I didn't get to it because I was, once again, avoiding it like it was a plague. So I'm hoping to get to this in April. I'm actually hoping to read it in the vlog that I'm doing right now, which is continuing series, and I want to finish this off because I haven't finished all of series this year, and I want to change that to where like I finish at least 10 series this year. So to do that, I kind of need to hop on it because we're already in month 4, and I think I've only finished 1 series or 2 series. So the next book I have is Our Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, which is the book following These Violent Delights. I'm not putting this off. I have a lot of audiobooks on hold right now, and I have a couple of them that could actually potentially come in over the next couple weeks. And I will be listening to the audiobook of this because that's how I did These Violent Delights. So I want to get the audiobook of this. I just don't know when I'm going to get around to it. I did put it on my TBR for the month, so maybe I can do it sometime this month. Maybe do a 24-hour readathon I'm doing this weekend, or the 48-hour readathon I'm doing next weekend. We will see, but this is definitely getting read this month because I want to get more into Chloe Gong, and I feel like starting where she started is a great way to do that. The next book I have is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. Another one that I am majorly avoiding because I have such high hopes for this, and I know it's going to break me and make me lose my mind, and I'm going to love it. But I also don't want to get to the Burning Gauntlet just yet, so I've also been avoiding it. But I think I'm going to do a vlog where I read books that I have been avoiding, and this is the #1 priority for that vlog, along with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Those 2 are my main priorities in that. For that vlog, I'm going to try to do 3 books for that vlog if I can. If I can't, then so be it. But this is definitely going on that TBR for that video, and I will be doing it in that video, which I think I'm going to do the last week of April, so be on the lookout for that vlog. This book is also a potential for that video I just talked about where I read books I've been avoiding, which is A Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I've been avoiding this strictly for the fact that I went in with such high expectations and for it to be in a similar writing style as Daughter of No Worlds, when that's not what I should expect, because this is following very different characters, very different world. So obviously, the writing and the way things are going to go very differently. So I did Soft Enough a couple years ago, and I have yet to go back to it, but I definitely want to try to go back to it. Like, I even had an annotation system ready for it. When I was reading it a couple years ago, I don't think I annotated it because I wasn't enjoying it enough to annotate. But I definitely want to try and go back to it and see why it's as popular as it is. Because I feel like this one is way more popular than Daughter of No Worlds, which I think is a little backwards in my opinion. But I digress. The next book is Celestial Monsters by Aiden Thomas, which is the second book in the duology following the Sunbear Trials. I'm trying to get around to rereading book one. I'm actually planning on doing a buddy read with that. That's my pick for me and my two best friends for our small book club for this month. So I definitely want to try to get to the Sunbear Trials this month. I really enjoyed book one, and so I really want to see how book two goes. I don't have super high expectations or anything like that. Ooh, is this dual POV? I didn't know this was dual POV. That makes me all the more intrigued. So I will be getting into this soon. I just don't know when. I can't promise anything. The next three is a whole series. Because I bought the whole Edge of Darkness series by Lee Rivers. And you know what? I just saw Madison Kate post a video about this, so maybe that's my sign to read this. Maybe I should be reading this. I've been trying to find a physical book for me to read, and I think I found it. I think I did. Because I'm actually so invested in whatever this is going to be about, or whatever we're going to be doing in these three books. I'm excited. I'm invested. I want to know what's going on. I want to know. I gotta know. I know these are dark. So if you're going to read these, look up trigger warnings before going into this, because this is very dark, sad, depressing. So be careful. The next book I have is the last book in my Twisted series. In the month of March, I finally finished book 3, which was Twisted Hate, and I can finally move on to this. I don't know if I'm going to listen to it as an audiobook or as just physically read it. I haven't decided on that yet, but I think because I've been reading the series this time around as audiobooks and then sometime tuning into the physical book, I think that's how I'm going to do this one. So another one that I need to get the audiobook for, I just don't know when it's going to be, because like I said, I'm such a mood reader that I can't really predict when I'm going to read a book unless I'm doing a specifically themed vlog. And I don't have a vlog that I could put this in unless I put it in a 24-hour readathon or something. So we'll see when this gets read. But she's also a chunker. She's 500 pages. But I just have a feeling something about this book, maybe it's the smell of it, it's going to be 5 stars. The next one. Listen, another one that I probably shouldn't have on my shelves because I tried to buy a whole series, but when I heard that these were going to be traditionally published, I wanted all the OG ones before it got traditionally published of the indie versions, and so I have books 2 through 4 of the House of Devil series by Kayla Edwards. Another one where I feel like this is gonna get read soon because I've actually been eyeing it. I actually the other night literally created my tabbing system for it. So that's how serious I am about getting to this soon, because I have been tabbing more and I know this is the one I'm going to tab. And so for me to do my annotation system, I know this is the one I'm going to read soon. So you will be seeing this some way, somehow in the near future coming your way. And then these two will get read at some point. Another one that I'm waiting for the release of the next book before I really try to dive too deep into it. The next actual book that I have on my physical TBR is Mother of Death and Dawn by Carissa Broadbent, because this is this is Mother right here, and this is one of my most anticipated books of all time. I don't know what's taking me so long to read it. I think it's the fact that once I read this, there is nothing more for me to read from this series, and I don't want it to be over, but I definitely need to get this off my TBR because I've had this since February of last year. Oh, I know what made me purchase this when I did. It got announced that this was getting traditionally published and that it was going to go out of print soon. So I was like, run to get it. Yeah, that will do it. Sure will. Okay. But yeah, this is on the TBR and I need to read it soon. And last but not least, the last book I have here is The Atlas Complex by Olivia Blake. And you may be wondering, where's the Atlas Paradox? I actually just started reading that for my continuing series vlog. Go me. Yeah, no, this right here, I'm scared to read. It's chunky. Compared to like book 1 and book 2, it's chunky. Like book 2 is up here. You see that? You see how thick this book is? I think this one is like, this one's just barely 400. It's 403 with the acknowledgements. While this one is like almost 500 pages with the acknowledgements. It's 480 pages with the acknowledgements, and technically even longer because it has a 481. So like, she's chunky. She's chunky. She's big. Not as big as some other books I have, but still. But yeah, I just need to read book 2 and then I can read this one. Whenever I read this one, because I will probably put it off because it's the last book in the series, and I'm pro at putting off the last book in the series. So that is the 35 books that I have on my physical TBR. It's a lot, I cannot lie. It's a lot in my head because like I said, I get anxious when I have a lot of books on my TBR, at least physically. But also seeing my shelves almost full just really proves that it's getting out of hand. I will be buying Billy Bookshelf, at least one Billy Bookshelf for my birthday to trade out one of these shelves. I'll probably trade out one of the smaller ones for the Billy Bookshelf. I'm thinking this middle one because this middle one is literally being held together by these two being like together and pushing it together. So this is probably the stuff I'm going to get rid of to replace with the Billy Bookshelf. And then eventually I'll only have Billy Bookshelves. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about the fact that I have a lot of books on my TBR and I want to read it down. But I also have the trouble of my birthday is next month and I know I'm going to go crazy for my birthday. So with that being said, we're creating a point system somehow, some way for myself for buying books for the rest of the year. But I will leave you guys with this. The next video should be a vlog. If it's not a vlog, it's a read with me video where I sit down and read and we read together. So be on the lookout for whatever it may be. But I will see you guys in my next video. I hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, and whatever the world you were having it in. If you want me to read any of these books like ASAP because they're your favorite, then comment down below so we can chat about it and we can strike conversation. Or if you have books that you think I should unhaul, also let me know. But with that being said, my Instagram, Goodreads, Fable will be linked down below for you to go check out if you would like. I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.